Clyde. So I'm Riley Smith. A little bit about myself. Born and raised here. For some of you that might know, my parents are Wayne and Jane Smith. Grandparents are Phyllis and Louie. And then Marge Curtis. So yeah, born and raised, graduated here at Yankton, went to Mount Marty. My wrestling career, I started young. My brother Sean, one of those things where you watch your brother wrestle, you gotta wrestle too, right? Three-time state qualifier, two-time state placer. My senior year, we were second in the state for duels, and then I think we placed, I'm gonna think back here, fourth or fifth for individual. And overall, our team my senior year, we were very tight team, wrestled well together, and that's kind of one of the things that kind of catapulted me to want to be a coach. As far as my wrestling background, my teammates, my coaches, I wrestled for Murray McClone. Ken Schaefer was also there coaching, helping me out, and so things like that, you take away from as far as how you want to coach, and I think that's some of the philosophy that I've gathered through the years and have been able to instill, in the program that we have today, keeping that tradition going. I did go out west a little bit for 4 years in Rapid City. During that time, I was an assistant coach to Brian Mosier, who also wrestled here in Yankton. And my brother Sean was out there. And we, as a team, we were runners-up twice and state champs twice. So we had a lot of good wrestlers out there. Overall for the season, right now, dual-wise, we're sitting 8-7. Last year, I think we were 3-16, and so we've made a lot of gains this year. We have 7 seniors, and as everyone knows, with seniors, there's pros and cons. I mean, pros because they have the experience, the maturity, the leadership. The cons is they graduate. So we have 7 seniors this year: Bashir Abdel-Karim, Spencer Huber, Cody Bornhagen, Brock Folkers, Jordan Light, Jamie Brugman, and Zach Hanslick. These guys have been through the program. Some started younger, some started in middle school. But however, they've all really embraced what we're doing here this year and have really helped, that leadership role. As far as I talked about with the philosophy on things, we're working on kind of a culture change. We want to keep the tradition that we have in Yankton. I've been here all my life watching wrestling and all sports, in general, since I was, old enough to walk. And what we have here is a great thing. We want to keep working on that. Some things will change a little bit, but again, a lot of our guys have taken that culture change and really run with it. So it's been very exciting to watch. ESD-wise, it's always exciting to kind of have those ESD duels. Pierre, Aberdeen are sitting at the top. They're going to be tough teams. Watertown we had last night. We wrestled them once before. Kind of took a couple lumps, and then this last outing that we had last night, we closed the gap on them. And that's the thing is, that we got to take away from is that we're making improvements, especially with the young team that we have this year. Some notable duels: Brandon Valley we wrestled at the beginning of the year. They ended up beating us. It was like 46-30, I think it was, and then we came back and we ended up beating them in an ESD duel, 39-36. So that just speaks volumes of what our guys are doing in the wrestling room. Where their mindset is, which is always huge in wrestling, is that mental toughness. Some of the standouts that we have this year, we started the year off with 1 wrestler being ranked. Spencer Huber, he's always back and forth between 2nd and 3rd in the state. And then throughout the year, we've been able to get 5 guys in the rankings, And depending on the week, sometimes they might fall out, then they come back in. But, we went from 1 to 5 ranked. So that's very exciting to see. Some of the guys that are standing out this year from our seniors, Bashir Abdel-Karim has done a great job. If you ever get to the matches and you watch him on his feet, the guy's just fun to watch. He's quick, exciting, he likes to get after it. Spencer Huber's just a brute. He's just got that strength that I don't think can be matched in the state. Cody Bornhagen, he's good on his feet, but you got to watch out for his crossface and cradle on top. He's fun to watch on top because if he gets you in that cradle, it's done. Jordan Light has been a standout this year. Last year he was one match away from placing at regions to make it to state, and this year he's ranked 8th in the state. And he started, I believe, in middle school and was able to make that many gains in that short amount of time. So that speaks a lot about him. And then our heavier guys, always fun to watch. Cole Diedrichsen, if you were at the match last night, you got to see him pin a guy in 9 seconds, which is always fun. Great for the crowd. And he's hit strides on some of the things that we worked with him in the room. And then Reese Anderson, who's wrestling at heavyweight, he weighs 228 in a 285 weight class. But last night he was going up against the number 4 seed in the state. We said, we need to look at this, make sure no one gets hurt. And he goes, no, I want to wrestle. So, for someone like that who's given up that much weight, it says a lot about their character. And he's not the only one when it comes to the character of this team. They all care for each other, which is huge. Like I said, we're 8-7 overall. We've got 4 more duels left against this, tough peer team and tough Huron team, and then Mitchell and Harrisburg, who we can very easily contend with, and we could end the year with a 10-9 record, which for this team, they've earned it. Some other things, some other notable points. Tournament-wise, last year we'd always have about 1 or 2 guys placing. I think on average we place 5 or more guys at each tournament we've been to so far. We could possibly take up to 10 kids to state, I believe. If everyone shows up to wrestle, we could take 10 kids to state. We are young. We do have some things to work on, but we do have the hard work in the room. The middle school level, we have 30 plus kids who are coached by one of my former coaches, Murray McGlone and Peter Deming, which, by the way, my assistants are Tyler Shuren, who's been there in the program for a few years, and then Ryan Palmer, who is new to the program. He wrestled for Brookings, so he's helped out a lot. And then as far as going to state, you're always optimistic saying, yeah, we'll take 10, we're going to place 10. But, you want to place as many as you want or as you can, but I really believe that we could place 5 guys at state. It's always there, so.
What do you think about the 2-class state tournament in the same site here this year?
I love it. When I was out in Rapid, we had, or they still have it, it's the Rapid Invite, and there's 32-man brackets. It's a 2-day tournament, and they put down 10 mats in the Civic Center. 8 of them are for varsity. Anyways, and kind of leading to that is because it creates a huge atmosphere. When we wrestled at Watertown for the state tournament, it was 1 class, but it was packed. It was just awesome. You'd be on the floor and looking up, and sometimes you're like, whoa. It's pretty fun when you have that kind of setup. And now we add the Bs into it in one venue. We're all in the Civic Center. They're going to have 8 mats. A crowd on one side, B crowd on one side. I think they're going to just intermix all the matches, and it's going to be exciting. It's that atmosphere that it creates, and I think that's going to help the sport.
Speaking of exciting matches, I know you've got a tournament coming up, a 17-team tournament coming up in February.
Yep, February 6th we have our Yankton Invite, which. When I was wrestling, we had a Yankton Invite, but it was a dual tournament. We would have, I think it was five teams, and then you get about 4 duels in. And that just with scheduling and teams sometimes go from one A's and B's. Sometimes it just with scheduling it just kind of for about a year it went away. And then last year. Ryan Morris and Ryan Haig worked together, and they started the first one was last year, the Yankton Invite, and we have 15 teams last year. We had 15 teams last year. Pierre, Rapid City Stevens came over. Millard South, who won it last year, is a great team. We got Madison, Tri-Valley coming in, Sioux City, Sioux City East. And just countless other great teams coming in with a lot of talented wrestlers. We're at 17 teams this year. And we're gonna have 4 mats down constantly, and it's gonna go, it's a great tournament, a lot of good wrestling. The semis, I mean, we just heard countless, or not compliments on us, but just how well the semis ran and how many good matches there were. So, and actually this year, we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna have like an alumni day during that time, so all the alumni that have wrestled in the past can come. We'll do a recognition. This actually marks 30 years since 1986 when Yankton won the state title. We'll do a special recognition for that 1986 team.